from yesterday, from Eckhart Tolle, talking about his awakening experience and pointing about the becoming transparent. My take is that when he talks about the enlightenment, whatever the term is, or the awakening, you are into a different universe, so to speak. And the sense of transparency is something I've posted in a few YouTube videos. And what it means in word, by the use of a mind, is there's no me identity, so to speak, so it's transparent, it's nothing. And the sense I have is the clarity, stillness, emptiness, yet there's the liveliness. Something is passing through. If I use the word aliveness, life energy, the sense of being alive is there. Except nothing to do with the mind, so the mind is empty. Just relating to that, or connecting to the other universe, or the source. This gets very weird, perhaps, but in a way I see the awakening experience is this discovery of the different world that didn't exist before. Looking back my Vipassana experience 20 years ago, about the Banga, they call it, was the energy was filling up my whole body and jumping all over. I felt like I was in plasma, the energy, for 5-10 minutes or more. And that, I believe, have transformed something inside of myself. Not to say I'm anything special, but from the point of view of the mind, it is beyond the mind. So mind has limitation. That's the point I've been talking about. How can we go beyond? Because we get caught up in the mind and the expression of tighten yourself with the rope. You try to use it when you try to escape somewhere. That's what happens. And that's what happened when I was going through that Vipassana meditation for 10 days on the 8th day in the afternoon. But it came off. And I talked about it elsewhere. So, but I think Eckhart Tolle was pointing the same. It is weird or interesting or beyond the mind understanding, but some people call it the resonance or synchronicity or flow state. The term doesn't mean anything except with some level of experience. We use the word experiential wisdom, so the awakening, wisdom, insight, all that are somewhat connected, as I mentioned about the Sila Samadhi, Panna, right conduct, common quiet mind, and then you have this wisdom or insight you get, awakening as a way. Then the other interesting thing I felt when I was in the desert is that I brought the books of Daisetz Suzuki, Zen scholar, and Nakayama, my friend, into Zen and creativity. Taichi Ono from Toyota, that I have learned a lot about the Toyota Lean system, and Matsushita. Those guys, I feel like I'm living with them because I read those books so many times and I can relate to what they're saying. And then every now and then when I'm wandering, probably, but also when I'm not doing anything, I feel their existence in me. or through me, as if they're alive. This gets really weird, you might think. I think there's a story of the people who have what's the word? Telepathy, or connecting to the person who is already passed away. It's kind of like that. But actually, the Nobel Prize winner, Richard Feynman, said something similar. In his view, whatever he has left on the video from Cornell or Caltech is alive. He's alive there. And that's right, I had another video about listening to jazz. Example, Nat King Cole, already passed. But I felt his presence when I was listening to his music, profound, and I was moved as if he's right there. So, less we have as we may use this mind, less we have in mind and become empty, no-minded. The sense of that penetrate through the body, and that the inner body sensation, I call it, or Eckhart Tolle talks about the same. Or Daisetz Suzuki talk about the live wire grabbing it. The energy that you feel is the state of Satori. It's a subjective experience, so it's no point of talking. But still, we or I can identify with those guys living inside of me. The wisdom or lively sense of their being with me is profound experience. Me being transparent, so I can relate. I can relate to the movement of the branches, leaves of the tree or the clouds or anything becoming animated. Like I mentioned, the books that I have, they are like my friends speaking to me, encouraging me and stimulating me and motivating me, that I am happy to relate to them and live the life as they may have lived in some way or the other. They are living within myself. So, what's the point of this? I've talked about the two universes. One is the universe in the mind, but there's a universe outside of it, or including the mind. The expression I used is the law of universe, or law of the nature is prevailing, obviously, and we are just a phenomena of that law of universe in this physical experience, physical existence, yet with this notion of the transparency of not having a me identity. Makes me appreciative, wonder, maybe a tiny bit weird, yet interested. And whenever I can connect to those people. Ryokan is another one who talked about transparency. Ryokan is the Zen monk. And there is such a state that you can connect to the universe, or the source of who we are. I go through the delusional thought, delusion, the suffering, psychological pain. But there's that light of those, the voice of those, unspoken voice, still vibrating in this whole universe. And we are one with that. I think it's fun dancing with the universe, riding the wave of the universe. on one hand, we experience that. On the other hand, we may get tangled up into the mind and go through difficulties. And I was in the desert reading books, this and that. And even if I've read them many times from 30, 40 years ago, it's still new. One story I remember, by the way, is Daisetz saying that it's okay you don't read it, but just leave it somewhere. Sometimes the point he's saying is, like I discover, sometime later, maybe 20 years later, I don't know, you open up, all of a sudden you connect to that. And such experience is real fun, as if someone is kind of manipulating or putting me in such a position to have that platform, to have that connection, and your heart opens up. And it's a personal experience. But there are people who seem to have gone through that and left a footprint in various forms. Some are singers, painters, writers, even the managers of the company. Yeah, just to maybe end up with this one. Invert is from the Charlie Munger, Investor. I like that thought. Kind of connect to the waste elimination I wrote a book about, or to the production system, or lean. You get to the core, simple, basic state of being is the source, and those connection would enrich our life. And want to do more of how we may be able to live well. Not just individually, but as a society in some way or the other. Well, that's one insight, if I call that. I got out of the experience in the desert, but it's been with me, helped me to live. The insights coming from deep inside of me.